Good evening, everyone. Thank you for your patience and welcome to our Policy Review Committee tonight on Tuesday, February 17. Before we begin with an opening prayer, I will ask if there are any intentions. All right, so for the intentions we hold in our hearts, let us sign ourselves in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Heavenly Father, as we meet today, please be with us. Guide our thoughts, ideas, and decisions. Bless abundantly all who are present. Come be with us, inspire us, and lead us in our time together. We ask this in your name. Amen. In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. And now we will share together the land acknowledgement. We are gathered on the ancestral lands and waters of all Indigenous peoples who have left their footprints on Mother Earth before us. We respectfully acknowledge those who have walked on it, those who walk on it now, and future generations who have yet to walk upon it. We pray to the Creator for strength and wisdom that all may continue to serve as stewards of the earth. So we will turn now to our Interim Director, Sarna, for roll call.
Thank you very much, Chair Sajese. And yes, we have here in the boardroom Trustees Sajese and Wigston joining us. The rest of the committee members, Trustee Alexander, Barberi, DeMeo, and Grella, are virtual. And we have absent with notice Trustee Cotton.
Very good. Thank you. So we'll begin now as we go down the agenda. Approval of new material. There is just an add-on, but we have a hand up. Yes, Vice Chair Wigston?
I'm moving to receive the new material.
Perfect. Thank you for that. And seconded by, okay, yes, Chair Frady, sure, you can do it for us. Thank you. So all in favor, no one opposed. Perfect. That's passed. Thank you. And approval of the agenda. Have you had a chance to look at it? Moved by Trustee Grella, thank you, Trustee Grella, and seconded by Trustee DeMeo. Thank you very much. All in favor? No one opposed? Excellent, that's passed. Declaration of conflict of interest? Seeing none. Approval of the previous minutes. If you take a look at the previous minutes, we have approval by Trustee Grella, thank you, and seconded by Trustee DeMeo, thank you again. Very good. Okay, business arising from minutes of previous meeting. Seeing none, there are no delegations, so I am going to now move to the staff presentation, and I will ask once again, action items, that's right. So we'll begin with governance, and once again I turn to Interim Director Sarna to explain the first action item.
Thank you very much. So Policy 112, Privacy and Freedom of Information and Procedure. This particular policy comes forward because it is part of the board's cyclical review process to ensure alignment continued with current privacy and access to information legislation.
Very good. So we're going to look at page 6 of the new package. Do we have any questions for Policy 112? Trustee Alexander, go ahead. I think you're on mute, Trustee Alexander. There we go.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
All right.
I lost my place. Just at the beginning, there is a title used only in the definitions, and I thought it should make its way very early in the policy, and that is Health Information Custodian.
Sorry,
in the definition.
Can you just speak a little clearly? I don't think I understood. Can you say that again, please?
Yeah, there is an item in the definitions, but it doesn't appear anywhere else in the policy.
Definitions on what page, please?
Item, yeah, I have to get to the page. Page 11.
All right, thank you.
And I thought maybe it should be included, for example, in the area that's red.
Red area,
After 2017. If we can add "and" as a health information custodian.
Okay, we're going to turn to Interim Director Sarna to respond.
Thank you very much for that, Trustee Alexander, and you are correct. It is mentioned as a term on the bottom of page 7, but the definition has been removed from page 11. So I think perhaps you are suggesting that we change the name to that which is found on page 11, the staff acting as the agent under PFIPA.
Okay. No, that's fine then. There's no need for change. I didn't notice it at the bottom of 7. So since it is written there, then the definition is fine the way it is. So
Okay,
there's no need for change.
all right, we've got that. Thank you. Are there any other points you'd like to raise?
Yeah. If we go to page 8, under parameters, number 3.5 didn't quite make sense to me. The meaning was lost.
Do you have a suggestion? So
I
you're
didn't
looking
have
at
a suggestion because
3.5, sorry, comply with
says
all reporting
comply with-
requirements? Go ahead.
Of the Information and Privacy Commissioner of Ontario, including but not limited to privacy breaches. I wasn't sure what the intent was, so I didn't have a suggestion.
So we're just reading it over now. Interim Director will respond to that. Sarna.
So once again, thank you, Trustee Alexander. I believe we can probably clarify by tightening up the language a little bit. I think the intent is that in 3.5, we are responsible for all of the information, including but not limited to privacy breaches, but it is cumbersome. So I think we can work on tightening that up.
Yeah, if we can say including information from the Privacy Commissioner, because we're talking about complying with requirements. So just tightening it would be fine.
Okay,
Since I've got the floor, may I continue?
sure, go ahead.
Save me having. On page 9, 4.5.5, we've deleted the Director of Education. And I think the Director of Education should be left in because what we've done is really left all responsibility to the CIO. And I think the director has to be that ultimate check and balance. That individual needs to know what's happening. So it could be the director and the Chief Information Officer.
Okay. We have a few people who agree around here, around the table, so that is noted. I see Interim Director Sarna writing that down. So before, if you do have anything more, we're going to hold off, Trustee Alexander, because I see
I'm good.
you're good?
I'm good
All
with
right,
this one.
perfect. Thank you. Any other questions? Vice Chair Wigson?
Thank you. Just further to Trustee Alexander's comments on 3.5, I think we could probably clean it up by ending, like just removing that last clause, putting the period after Ontario. Because if we're complying with all the reporting requirements, we don't have to spell out what they are and what they aren't.
Okay, thank you for that. Sounds good. Any other questions? Chair Ifredi?
Just a quick question. The removal of the Director of Education, what was the reason for that?
Interim Director Sarna?
Thank you very much, Chair Iafredi. The reason is because the Records and Privacy Manager now reports directly to the CIO. And the understanding then would be that the CIO would keep the director informed and aware of issues, but from the perspective of the privacy manager, that individual reports concerns directly to the CIO.
So with that, to Trustee Alexander, would it not be right then to leave out the Director of Education? Because the flow, what you're saying, and the Director of Education knows everything anyway.
I just felt that it left the director out of the loop. But if there is confidence that that CIO will keep the director in the loop, I'm fine with it. It just didn't seem to me that it had that check and balance that was necessary because it was with regard to, um, was it responsibilities? So by assuming that the CIO would report to the director, I think we're leaving it open. That's all.
Okay, thank you. Vice Chair Wigston?
Thank you. Yes, further to that, it does seem that it was added there in 4.4.3 that it's a responsibility of the CIO to be reporting those kinds of things directly to the director. So I think that covers the concern.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
very good. Okay, wonderful. Got that covered. Any other questions with regards to this particular governance? All right, so with all those noted changes and recommendations, do I have a mover for this action item? Vice Chair Wigston, seconded by Trustee Alexander. All in favor? I guess anyone opposed? Carried. Very good. And I do want to remind everyone that there is information at the bottom on that policy on 13A, if you want to look into that some more. Moving on to the next action item of students, I turn to Interim Director Sarna to give a brief explanation.
So policy 210, pediculosis or head lice, this particular policy and its procedure were updated as part of the board's cyclical review process to ensure continued alignment with current public health guidance.
Thank you. I left it for you to say that word, pediculosis. Okay, do we have any questions? All right, we'll start off with Trustee Grella. Go ahead.
Good evening. So it's my understanding now that if a student has lice in a classroom, no notice will be going home to the parents informing them that there is a child in their child's classroom who has lice.
Okay, so are you asking a question based on
Yeah,
that?
I'm asking,
Did you
yeah.
notice that in the policy?
I did.
Would you like to reference where that's found, please, Trustee Grella?
Oh God. I was reading it, now I have to find it.
Okay, well, we can turn to Interim Director Sarna to answer that.
Thank you very much, Trustee Grella. And yes, that is correct. The new regulations that are under the umbrella and leadership of the York Region Public Health are that it is no longer a condition that requires families in the class to be informed.
Okay, and then now, how did this new policy changes come to be? Was it something, a directive from York Region Health or the province? I didn't find that out when I was reading.
So if you were to look at the approval dates, you'll notice the last time this particular policy came forward was in 2016. It is well overdue, and there has been a lot of changes, primarily with regards to York Region Public Health and how we expect head lice to be addressed. So in the almost, 10 years of time, a lot has changed, and we needed to make sure that we put that in place.
Okay, I'm just asking these questions because if parents come to me, because what happens when a parent asks why the class was not advised of a case of head lice in their child's class by the principal? Like if a parent comes to me and says, I wasn't notified that there was head lice in the classroom, I just want to know how to address this. I'll probably redirect to the principal, but just in case they have spoken to the principal and then later come to me.
Go ahead.
I think quite simply the answer is that is the current guidance from York Region Public Health, and that is the authoritarian body overseeing this particular issue, and that is who we refer to. So I would just take it back to York Region Public Health.
Okay, and another question is, so if a child has lice in the classroom, will they remain in the classroom, or will it be like past where they'll be just taken out of the classroom and placed in the office until their parent picks them up, or will they be allowed to stay in the classroom until the end of the day?
Once again, they are still allowed to remain in the classroom. They attend school regularly. They have a condition that is easily treated and does not require that they be isolated or singled out.
Okay, perfect. I just wanted to know the new procedures because it's changed since when I was a classroom teacher.
Very good questions. Thank you, Trustee Grella.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions regarding policy 210? Pediculosis. All right, seeing none, do I have a mover for this action item? Thank you, Vice Chair Wigston, and seconded by Trustee Barbieri. Thank you very much. Anyone opposed? All in favor? Trustee Alexander? No? All right, very good. So that is carried. Thank you. Moving on to Human Resources Policy 407, Interim Director Sarna.
The next three policies on the agenda are all being brought forward because new legislative requirements were introduced through the Supporting Children and Students Act of 2025. In this particular policy 407, amendments have been made to strengthen police record check requirements for board employees.
Interesting, very good. Any questions with regards to this? All right, okay. Seeing none, can we have a mover to carry the first one? Trustee Grella, moved by Trustee Grella, seconded by Trustee Barbieri. Thank you. Anyone opposed? All in favor? Carried. Policy 407. Community action item policy 608, volunteers in schools.
And again, this particular policy is being aligned with the new legislation, and this time it refers to strengthening police record checks for volunteers.
Excellent. Any questions with this one? Online? Seeing none, do I have a mover? Trustee Grella, seconded by Trustee Barbieri. Anyone opposed? All in favor? Carried. Okay, so now we are moving to, we did policy 611. Go ahead.
And this is the final of the three, and this time the service providers have increased and strengthened police record check requirements.
Very good. Tier 2. Any questions about this one? These are all wonderful, self-explanatory. Oh, here we go. Go ahead, Trustee Alexander.
Thank you, Madam. Thank you, Madam Chair. I think the two previous policies required the checks before a contract was signed. And we've got, I think, 6 months to being approved as a service provider. And I'm just wondering the reason for that and why can't we keep the requirements consistent? In other words, you can have a provider contracted and it turns out that the checks turn up something that was untoward. We might have a problem, severing ties. So I think it would make sense to make sure that all clearance takes place before the contract or the agreement is made. That was the only suggestion I had.
So are you acknowledging the 6 months? Sorry, or is this,
No, I'm saying the 6 months should be removed in essence.
should be removed?
And replaced with, for example, 3.1.1, collection and verification of an official vulnerable sector check. Issued by a police and completed not within 6 months, but before being approved as a service provider. What I'm saying is we shouldn't have a time limit there. We should do our homework and groundwork before we hire that company or that individual is all I'm saying.
Okay.
That'll be consistent, I think, with the others where we volunteers have to get that checked out before we bring them on to to our staff or premises.
Okay, thank you. Let's turn to Vice Chair Wigston.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The way I was reading it, and help me if I'm wrong here, it sounds to me like, because if you go back to 3.1 and 3.2, it says that the service providers can only provide goods and services after the required documentation has happened. So it's like, once you're on the list, like this is the, once you're being determined whether you could provide a good or service, and we put you on a list, you can't actually go into the school until you have your documentation. That's what I'm seeing, but they wouldn't get their documentation in advance of even being considered.
All right, thank you for that. I'm going to turn over to Interim Director Sarna to elaborate.
So I think what we've heard is that we all agree it's important that our service providers have police record checks. And yes, the 3.2 clause indicates that they will have those police record checks before the service provider is allowed to enter and access the school and have exposure to students. I see that our manager, Ms. DiGirolamo, is nodding her head. This is one of her policies that she owns, and I'm just going to turn it over to her in case she has a better way of expressing this.
Through you, Madam Chair, that's exactly the intent. There's a process by which providers go through in order to be approved, and the language is written such that they have 6 months after being approved to perform the record checks. The language is written in a way that allows us to approve them, for example, in the spring, and give them that time before they start providing service in September. And I'm speaking at least in terms of those service providers that provide lunchtime programming and after-school programming.
Thank you for that clarification. That's a very outlined process. Trustee Alexander, is that clear for you, or would you like to?
It seems contradictory to me. Because we bring them on board and we have to still get information, it would seem. That's the way I read it. And I think if that's the case, then we need to get rid of that sort of dissonance between the 3.2 and 3.31. But if everybody else is okay with it, I'm fine. It just seems to me that there's a little bit of contradiction here.
Okay, I'm sure we'll take it back, and the Incredible Policy Committee will see what they could do to fix it. Thank you for that. Are there any other questions with this policy before we move on to action it? Online? All right, seeing none, do I have a mover for policy 611?
I just had one question.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, Trustee Alexander.
5.7.1 and page 48. Again, the meaning isn't very clear. I think, for example, 5.7.1, I'm not quite sure what the intent is, but if we need to separate, the intent by bullets or the subsections that are contained in that paragraph, that might be helpful, but it wasn't clear to me what the intent was.
Okay, that is noted as well. It's under definition, correct? Yes. Okay, we've got that. Anything else? Perfect.
No, that's it.
Thank you, Trustee Alexander. Okay, so we've got those noted. With those notations, do I have a mover for this policy? Not yet. Go ahead, Vice Chair Wigston.
Thank you. So are we moving it as is?
So are we going to,
We will make slight revisions that you will see at the board meeting.
okay. Go ahead.
We are open to trying to address that language in the two areas that have been brought forward, and then we will have a revised, slightly edited version available at the board meeting.
Okay, then I will move it.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for that. So Vice Chair Wigston will move it, and seconded by Trustee DeMayo. Thank you, Trustee DeMayo. Anyone opposed? All in favor? Carried with those changes. Thank you. Okay, so now we're going to facilities, policy 709, school name changes. Go ahead, Interim Director Sarna.
Thank you, Chair Sajese. So this particular policy is being updated because there are new legislative requirements introduced through the Supporting Children and Students Act of 2025. School boards are now required to obtain the minister's approval before naming a new school or changing the name of an existing one.
Very good. Questions? Okay, Chair Ifredi?
Okay, so this is interesting. I had a conversation with the bishop and about our new school in Queensville, and he brought to my attention that 2 names have to be submitted to the cardinal, and the cardinal makes the final decision of what the naming of the school is. I guess at that point it would go to the ministry, because it's not noted here that the cardinal makes the decision.
So thank you for that, Chair Ifredi. You had brought that to my attention, and we reviewed the legislative requirements very carefully, and nowhere does that come forward. However, you will note that we have used language that allows us to present to the Minister of Education a name that has been agreed upon by the assembled Board of Trustees, and I think that would allow us to incorporate the Cardinal's opinion before we present the final name to the minister for his ultimate and final approval.
So, I'm sorry, could that be noted somewhere? And I only say, or maybe you can check with the Bishop Boisonneau? He was adamant.
Okay, before we look into this for your response, Trustee DeMayo, do you have a follow-up? Do you have a question?
Yeah, I just want to agree with Maria with that, because God forbid if we ever are not here and someone else is around, they're looking at policy, they're not going to be addressing any of what we just talked about, and I think we should make that as a note.
Okay, thank you. You're moving further and further away, so come closer when you speak, please. But we did understand you, so that is noted. Thank you for that. Any other questions?
So I just
Go
want to
ahead.
make a comment, because I understand what you're saying. So you went through the whole, and I understand that the minister needs to approve as well. But, and I'm not deviating from anything you put here, and I think it's great work. I just want to, just a line, just so we know that we're not misstepping in the event that, well, the school name is coming up soon. So I just want to make sure.
So I think our best approach would be to, as was suggested, speak to Bishop Boisonneau to see if we can get the language that would be required to be incorporated within one of the parameters. So we will do that. I'm not 100% sure we will have it ready for the board meeting next Tuesday, but we will do what we can.
Thank you for that. So with that change, or with that noted, I'm going to ask if we can move this. Do I have a mover for policy 709? With, yes? Nobody? We're going to hold off? What are we doing here? Unless we can't move it just yet. So why don't we just put this on hold until we get some more information about from Bishop Boisonneau, and then we'll come back to that. And I have to ask Trustee Alexander if you would be kind enough to turn off your microphone, please. Thank you. Excellent. Okay, so we'll leave that there for now. And now we're moving to Finance, Policy 801. Turning to Interim Director Sarna.
So this policy is coming back following discussion we had at the December 1st PRC meeting. It has been updated, and it includes an outline of what board-controlled funds may or may not be used for, specifically for recognition or acknowledgement purposes, and to assure alignment with the Ontario Broader Public Sector Expense Directive. We do have CFO McNeil with us for questions if required.
Thank you. Any questions for our CFO? Trustee Alexander, go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a couple. Page 57, item number 2, it doesn't quite hang together. When it says records on privacy manager, et cetera, and principle 2, I think it should read as follows.
So can you just repeat exactly where you are at so we can all reference it,
Page
please?
57,
Yes?
privacy breach procedure. Oh, sorry, maybe we're not there yet.
Hold on. Okay. I think we have, because we just got an updated 801 policy, so we may be just, I don't think we're there just yet, from what I've been hearing. So let's,
All right.
maybe, so he's on page 57, but that is the original,
Procedure. Yeah, I don't have the
under
updated.
procedure, yes, this is the procedure. Look at that procedure. Just a second. Okay, so perhaps you are looking at the page that is, that was just inserted, Trustee Alexander. Could you take a look at the, you're probably referencing the first page. Did he get the updated version? I don't think he got it. It wasn't added, that's why. Yeah. Under parameters.
So that's fine. Let's deal with the policy first, and then we get to the procedure.
Okay, so we're looking at the policy right now. Is there something under policy, under parameters?
No, I have no questions regarding the policy because I haven't seen it.
Okay, all
We
right.
have the procedure.
Okay, thank you for that then. He doesn't. Any other questions? We just got an updated form, that's why some of us that are virtual may not have received it just yet, but they may have received it online and are just looking over it now. So we'll give them, yeah, they did receive it online, yes. So all of you online, you did get it. Maybe you could just take a look at it because it was just sent today. We're just waiting to see if anyone has any questions with this policy. Vice Chair Wixton, go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Will the changes to this policy affect trustees' ability to contribute to the Michael Carnevale Award for students?
That is a good question. I'm going to ask Interim Director Sarna if she could perhaps ask our CFO if he would be able to answer that.
Do you have an idea of what clause, Trustee Wigston, that leads you to believe that that would not be included? It would help Trustee McNeil and I to figure out.
Well, I'm just, if the award is considered to be of an educational purpose, then it fits perfectly because it's in recognition of a student, a graduating student, and it would go towards their post-secondary. I just wanted to be sure that we weren't accidentally capturing something in this that we didn't intend to.
So thank you for the clarification. Trustee McNeil, CFO McNeil, do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, thank you for that. Director Sana, I believe that's covered by a different policy, by like the trustee expenditures. This is really a different purpose, which is employees.
Thank you.
Okay, so is that clear? That's cleared up, yes? Perfect. All right, so we are still looking at this use of board and school fund for recognition. If there are no other questions, I'm just going to ask one more time online. If you had a chance to look at the email of the insert on this policy. Want to give you some time. It's pretty self-explanatory. Okay, so seeing none, I will then ask if we could have a mover to pass this one. So we have Trustee Grella moved and seconded by, do I have a second person? Thank you, Trustee DeMeo. Anyone opposed? All in favor? Wonderful. So this is carried. All right, now moving on to the next page, we have no discussion items. The information items are there for your review for those two policies, as are mentioned earlier. You could take a look at the future items that are coming up, the policies that are coming up for review. And wow, this was a nice, fast meeting, considering we had many today. This is a nice end to the day. The future meeting of our policy will be in April. And I think that's it. So do I have someone who would like to adjourn? Trustee Grella, here, the first one. Thank you. Seconded by Trustee Barbieri. Thank you very much. All in favor of adjournment? Anyone opposed? Good night, everyone, and have a safe drive home.